Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Crown and today we are going to have some more stories that I hope that you will enjoy. But before we start, it will be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now, without further ado, let's go! A tiny bit of background. I'm a male, mid-30s, super bicycle enthusiast. I bike to work and everywhere else too. Do not judge. I have my license and have a car that I use for during rain or a date. I live in a state that's bicycle-friendly out here. More importantly, the Tri-County area has laws that give you permission to ride your bicycles rather than take away rides. What I'm getting around to say is that we have laws that allow you biking on a sidewalk too. Because I'm nervous and not wanting to get hit by some random driver, it has happened before, I decided to keep riding on the sidewalk. Now I've been stopped beforehand. In fact, one particular moron grabbed my bike and sat on my wheel trying to convince me not to do it anymore. But that's another revenge story. In order for that not to happen again, I memorized and then copied any laws pertaining to bicycles. I sort of created a handbook PDF for this situation, if it arose again. And oh, it did. Final piece of information. My family owns a small business in town. My father is a shakes hands with everyone friendly type. Both he and I have this type of mentality to try to make friends. So anyways, this extends to all the small businesses in the area. Story time. So about 4 years ago, I'd travel regularly back and forth down a particular street. I'd stop at this teeny tiny convenience store owned by friends of our family. Secretly, I'd buy a few Twinkies and throw them in my bag for later, or I might grab chocolate for my girl. And who hangs out in front of this particular store is a crotchety old man. I can understand he's old and stiff. He was nice at one point, until the city decided to remove first a bus stop right next to the store, and then the bench that went along with it. So the old man would buy his stuff and then sit on a half wall that was set up. The wall was erected to trip up people, so it's not a direct pass to the store door. The place had been robbed a few times. The crotchety old man screams daily at people walking, running, and especially any bicyclist who rides past him. He gets in their faces if they enter the store and gives them an earful. So as I ride normally, I get an earful about how I shouldn't be riding on the sidewalk. Again, it's perfectly legal here. To me, especially since I shop there, he yells and gets in my face. The spitting while yelling type. What really set me off was when I found him at the pole where my bike was. He was screwing with my gears and then throwing it continually down on the ground. And finally it happened, the moment I feared and waited for after having to deal with it for the previous years. The old man yells, "It's illegal to ride on a sidewalk around here. You jerk should know that by now. You can just ride any way you want and think you won't get caught." Just the opening I need to get him. Staying calm, I approach him ready for battle. "I said it's illegal to ride on a sidewalk around here." "No, it's not, sir." "It very well is. It's practically illegal in everywhere." "Are you sure in this county?" I ask, questioning him. "I am dead positive," he says with a smile. "Not from what I read." I take out my phone and pull up the PDF. I stand like I'm preparing to give a speech. I read the bicycle laws after him one by one, making sure to not let him get a word in edgewise. So let's analyze when I can ride my bicycle here. First exemption where I can't ride on the sidewalk is in the event of an emergency. I pretend to survey the area with my hand on my forehead like some explorer. Nope. No emergency vehicles, no security personnel or police to direct traffic. Not even a fender bender or robbery. Second, an ongoing event that makes the street unusable. I pretend to survey the area again. Nope. No tents, no parade, no street fair, no protests going on. Third and fourth, the event the person is riding erratically or causing harm to pedestrians, or said person interfering with large crowds. Since there is nobody but us and the only person is about a mile off heading away from us, I think it's safe to say there is no crowd here. And the crotchety old man has kept a poker face. You know what? Let's see what the law says then. He pulls out the phone, I look at my watch and he calls. At first I thought it was a fake call. Nope. Real cops come out for a disturbance. Before I can say jack, the crotchety old man approaches the cops with his limb and screams out, "This moron has been day-to-day trying to run me off the sidewalk. He aims at me with his bike and now he's—" "Sir, you can calm down. We've come for a complaint." "Arrest him! That jerk over there with that bike." "I'm assessing if there is any damage to my bike." "Sir, can you not leave the scene yet? In fact, can you come here a minute?" "Arrest that jerk! He keeps aiming at me and kicks at me." "Sir, can you explain what happened?" I explain the situation and his bantering of everyone he attacks going in the store. Okay. The cop turns to the old man now. "Well, sir, the bicyclist is in a right to ride on the sidewalk, but since you have no proof he assaulted you, we cannot." "Look around. He's got a bike and he hates me." And now the two cops talk. The cops explain that they are just going to leave as this is a he said situation. "You jerk, get off." Time for revenge. I mutter the next lines loud enough for all to hear. "You know, officer, it doesn't have to be a total loss. I say you have a few charges you can file. Let's see, falsifying a police report, vagrancy, loitering, damage to personal property, and maybe trespassing." The cops stop mid-step and head toward me. And it's all real quiet now. "Shut up!" I smile. "Shut up already! He is lying! He can't—" "They have cameras at this store, and you can prove all these claims." I point to the cameras. "If you're willing to—" "Shut up and stop helping them!" "If you check in with the owner pub, it's been a friend of ours for years. You can check the footage." "You're not helping." All about 10 minutes he's in there. About as the cop is coming out, the crotchety old man decides he's going to try to hobble away, but he's got a limp so he couldn't get far. The cop says, "We have an interesting situation here. You have been loitering on this wall almost all day, trespassing on this shop's property. Your legs have been loitering on the public sidewalk, a misdemeanor here. According to the video, you have bad-mouthing the customers each day. There has been no sign this young man has ever attacked you. In fact, we have you meddling with his vehicle on video. The shop owner says he has asked you almost daily to not stick around, and the fact you tried to file against this young man is not looking to be in your favor. Also, the shop is officially banning you, and we are going to suggest he files a restraining order against you." Suffice to say, the guy was under arrest, and he hasn't reappeared once at that shop again. I did file charges, but I didn't get any compensation. I used to work for a large financial institution in a very busy branch. At the beginning of the pandemic, this branch was even busier and customers were more cranky than usual. There was an older lady who always came in. She smelled horrible, had greasy hair, dirty clothes, and always complained. I was empathetic and tried to see the mental health issues behind her appearance. Even though she would constantly complain about everything, well, one day in the beginning of the pandemic, she came in to do her usual deposit. Withdraw, check balance. Too little. Deposit more. Check balance. I need cigarettes. Withdraw some again. Did that purchase post? Did that check clear? Need to go to the payday loan department. Deposit everything I just withdrew. Complain about something. Huff and puff, blah blah blah. Well, after all of this, she waddles off with her walker and I call up the next customer. She turns around and says she has a question. The customer I just called up probably smelled her residual stench and said he can wait in line a little longer. So she waddled back over, flipped her walker around, and sat down. She proceeded to ask how much stamps were. I said I was not too sure. She asked me why I didn't know. So I told her I bought some forever stamps about a year ago and haven't checked since. She asked me again. I said I didn't know off the top of my head and I can look it up for her. She said she didn't trust the internet, but she wants to know how much it will cost to send a letter across the country. Again, I don't know. You'll have to go to the post office if you don't trust what their website says. And she got really loud. So I did too. For a good 3 minutes we were going back and forth, reminding her that she was in a bank. We haven't sold stamps in decades. And she needs to go to the post office to ask an employee there. And she just wasn't having it. She ended up waddling off while huffing and puffing and chewing out my branch manager on her way out for not educating employees on current economic structures. Whatever that means. Like, lady, I don't work at the post office. I work at a bank. I'd have a better benefits and higher pay if I worked at the post office. What the hell? I never thought I would be writing here today, but here we are. So for context, I'm a 21-year-old male with severe ASD, autism. And yesterday, I was at one of those trampoline parks, and for me, it's kinda my gym, if that makes any sense. Been going to that place for a couple of years. So anyway, I was on one of those free range bouncing areas with my AirPods on, listening to Lil Nas X, and then she came. Karen and her son around 10 or 11-ish, my guess. As soon as she sees me when she entered with a kid, she began screeching like a banshee.
Excuse me, mister.
I didn't hear her over my music. She gets louder.
Excuse me.
Still was ignoring her. That's when the entitled mother came over to me after I did a flip and yanked out one of my AirPods. What the hell, mate? Context, we are from Australia.
I can't believe you were ignoring me. Are you an R-word?
Me feeling anxious? Dude, you can't say that around kids. And that's when an amazing staff member came over. God bless them, by the way. What seems to be the problem here?
This man was ignoring me when I was trying to get his attention because he's too old for a trampoline park. This is a family place, not a place for adults.
Mate, I'm 21 and I still like cartoons like The Lion King. And that's when the entitled mother looked at me with abstract horror and turns to the staff member.
I can't believe you allow R-worded people who watch children's cartoons in what's meant to be a child's place. Kick him out or I will speak to your manager.
Her shouting caused nearly everyone to look in our direction, all the while completely ignoring her kid, who was running around the park like a maniac. And I had my hands over my ears cause she triggered my anxiety cause she was just overstimulating. The staff member tells her, "If you don't stop shouting obscenities, I'll have to ask you to leave. Also, your child is causing a disturbance to the other kids." Just ignoring the basic safety rules such as one child at a time.
I don't care, I want this man-child gone. In fact, ban him from the park.
And that's when I remembered she's still holding on to one of my AirPods that she took from my ear. I told the staff member what happened and that she basically stole from me. "Ma'am, I'm going to ask you and your child to leave and give the man back his AirPods." And that's when she grabbed her kid by the wrist and threw the AirPod across the park while saying at me,
"Get lost, you jerk."
I ran across the gym to go grab it while they were being escorted out. All the while she was screaming about how she's going to call the owner about this place to get adult children banned. So after the whole fiasco, the other staff came to calm me down, and they even went out of their way to get a free slushie for me. So that was nice. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.